what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christina and I'm a full-time reseller on the Poshmark app. You can find me on Instagram at little.black.hanger, and you can also find me on Poshmark at littleblackhanger without the vowels. For today's video, I'm going to do a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me any questions that you had. I also asked you in my last video to leave any questions you had in the comments, and I'm going to be answering them today. So let's get started. Alrighty, so the first question actually came from two people, and that question is, which thrift store is your favorite? And I have to say that the thrift store I went to in my last video, if you haven't watched that, go check it out. It's a thrift with me vlog, and the thrift store is called Super Thrift. I don't think it's a chain. I think it's just specific to South Florida, but if you live in the West Palm Beach area, you can definitely go check that out. I definitely highly recommend it, especially for vintage stuff. My second favorite, which is readily available to I think pretty much everyone, would be Goodwill. The reason I like Goodwill is because they have set prices, at least they do where I am. So all like tops, like ladies tops, are like $3.99. All jeans are $5.99. They have a color specific day, like a color of the week, where they do like half off of that one color. So I'm the type of person who likes to know what I'm paying before I pay it. Next question is, what was the turning point that made you realize you were passionate about reselling? I think the turning point for me was when I realized that I could turn something that I loved, like fashion and styling people and making people feel good about themselves and giving people a new way to think about fashion. I could take that and make a decent amount of money off of it. Whenever you can find something that you're super passionate about and you can make a career out of it, I would definitely say go for it, whether it's reselling or makeup or hair or whatever you like to do it. I'm definitely a firm believer in being passionate about what you're doing. Also, I really like the aspect of being able to promote slow fashion. And if you don't know what that is, fast fashion places would be like H&M, Forever 21. They're constantly putting out new stuff, but at what cost? It's really weighing heavily on the environment and workers' wages and blah blah blah. I won't go into that, but that is something that I'm also very passionate about, is recycling and helping the environment in that way. Hope that answers your question. Alright, third question is, what is your favorite part about the whole Poshmark process? I would have to say, as a shopaholic, my favorite part is sourcing. Who can blame me, right? Like, I get to go shopping. I get to feed my shopping addiction without the guilt because I'm selling all of it. I also really love doing the photographs, and I love the photo editing. I am going to do a video on how I edit my photos to go on Poshmark to give it that clean, like, aesthetic look. So keep an eye out for that. Next question is, I would love to know some of your thrifting strategy. There's always so much to look through. Girl, I feel you. I get in that thrift store and I get so overwhelmed sometimes. So my strategy, and I touched lightly on this in my last video, my thrift with me, always start in a certain section. So for me, it's the shoes or the men's section. Depending on which one's more crowded, I switch them. So like if the shoes are crowded, I'll go to the men's section and then come back to the shoes. If not, I'll start in the shoes. Having that idea, having a starting point in your mind really helps for me anyways. And I go in priority. Does that make sense? So like I start in those sections, and then from there, I tend to go to like the women's jacket section or the sweaters, and then I'll do maybe a row of jeans. There's 2 rows of jeans in the thrift store that I go to, so I do one because I get overwhelmed, and then I'll come back and do the other one. If I need more skirts in my closet, I'll go peep the skirts first. I do things in like a priority sort of way. And also, if you're getting overwhelmed in a section, it's fine. Go to another place, move on, keep it moving. That's what I say. There's always things to look at and find, and you can always come back. Another strategy that I have is if I see something that I really like, but I'm unsure about it, I'll put it in my cart, just in case. You never know, someone may come and grab it, and nothing makes you want something more than when someone else has it. So always put it in your cart. If you're not sure about it, just hold on to it. You can always put it back later. I always go in there with like a general idea. You don't want to have too specific of an idea. 9 times out of 10 you're not going to find specifics. So the thing with the thrift store is it's just whatever is there is there. I can't like write down I want a lavender trench coat and it's just gonna be there. Sometimes it may be there, but 9 times out of 10 that's not gonna happen. So I go in there with a general style that I'm looking for so that pieces will jump out to me. Does that make sense? Like if I have an idea in my mind, like a certain style that I'm looking for, if I see it on the rack or on the hanger or even from a distance, it'll call to me almost. Does that sound crazy? That's kind of my thinking when I go into a thrift store. I write down like trends, or I write down just a certain general thing, general look or vibe that I'm going for, and then those pieces tend to stick out to me a little more than they would if I hadn't had that in my mind. I hope that makes sense. The next question is, what is your favorite way to spruce up or upcycle thrifted clothing? And if you guys don't know, I did start on Etsy, and that's what I was doing on Etsy. I was upcycling clothing on there, and that is actually one of my favorite things to do still. I just haven't really done it a lot anymore. That doesn't make any sense. I don't do it a lot anymore. My favorite thing to do at the moment is taking men's graphic tees. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say this, but taking men's graphic tees and cropping them, that is my favorite way to spruce up anything. You can make anything feminine, just crop it. Just crop it. That's my new philosophy in life. When in doubt, crop it out, right? So that's one of my favorite things to do. Other favorite things to do to upcycle a piece is to take a flannel shirt, and this is for more like fall time. Take the graphic of a t-shirt, like a t-shirt like this, that is like that typical t-shirt material. I'll cut the graphic off of it and embroider using embroidery. Using embroidery thread, I will stitch it onto the back of a flannel, and it just makes this awesome looking, like raw, just rock and roll. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. It's really hard to explain, but I'll insert a picture here of one that I did and actually sold. And I just think they're so cool. That's definitely hands down my favorite thing to do, other than cropping. All right, so the final question is, for your upcoming Q&A, I'd love to know your techniques to pricing on Poshmark. I always second guess myself on pricing, and I usually just end up knocking 60 to 70% off of retail. That is such a good question, and my answer may be a little controversial. Knocking 60 to 70% off is, in my opinion, the correct thing to do. And I say that because Poshmark is advertising to their customers that they are a website where you can find things for 70% off of retail prices. So that is what Poshmark is advertising to their customers. So in turn, that's what their customers are going to expect. My philosophy is, and like I said, this may be a little controversial, you have to do what works for you. This is just what works for me. I'm by no means saying that this is the only way to price. I would definitely suggest looking at the way a lot of resellers price and then determining what works best for you, maybe mixing some strategies here and there, doing some experiments, but this is my take on the subject. I was once in an antique store, and they had like little booths where they had different sellers, and this one seller, I had found this sign. The lady who I found this sign, like her booth, I found this sign at, she was saying that I was like, oh my gosh, like this is such a good deal, like holy crap. And she's like, yeah, if I find something for a good deal, I'm gonna sell it for a good deal. And that really, really, really stuck with me, because it's true. Like if I found something for 99 cents and someone offers me $10 for it, like am I gonna tell them no because it's like Lululemon or it's a good brand? No, I'm gonna sell it to them for $10. Basically, I want to make 2 times what I paid for an item. So I'm going to put that equation here. Some people say it differently. Some people either look at it as 3 times or 2 times. I'll put the equation here. Basically, I take what I paid for something and I times it by 3. That's my lowest that I will take for an item. Say I paid $4 for something. So 4 times 3 would be 12. So after Poshmark fees, I need to have that $12 in my pending account. On Poshmark, that totals out. They do take 20%, so I think it's 15 would give me 12. That being said, will I price it at 15? Absolutely not. I will price it, depending on what it is, I'll either price it $10 above what I'm willing to take, or $20, or sometimes even $30. It just depends on what it is. Know the value of what you're selling. If I have a brand new with tags Lucky Brand blazer, that's just the first thing that came to my mind, don't know why, and it's a $200 blazer and it's new with tags, I'm gonna give a good deal still, because obviously I got it for a good deal, but I also know what it's worth. So I would probably price that like $30 above what I'm willing to take, maybe even 40. Start high so that you can leave some wiggle room. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm not explaining this like in a good way at all. I'm really trying. I guess what I'm trying to get across is that if you got it for a good deal, you can let it go for a good deal. You're still making a profit. Make sure you're still making a profit and hitting the profit that you want. It doesn't have to be my equation. If you want to make $10, $15 on every piece, do that. Sit on it. Stand your ground. Make that money, honey. For me personally, I am not working with a ton of space, so I really like to move my inventory very quickly. I rarely hold on to things for more than a few weeks, so that's why I do things the way I do them. It doesn't make sense to some people. Some people are like, oh, you know, I'll sit on an item for 6 months if it gives me $60. I'm not that type of person. I want it now, instant gratification. But one thing also to note is I was talking to my friend on Instagram, Hannah Deals. If you don't follow her on Instagram, she's another reseller who is just amazing, and she has such amazing like tips and tricks, and I just love her style and the way she does things. She had said to me that she is in the business of reselling, not storage. And that just like clicked in my mind. Like, it's so true. Like, I bought this item to sell it, not to store it. If it's sitting in my house, it's not doing me any good. If my inventory is just sitting and I'm just waiting on that right buyer to give me my full asking price or this much money, I'm gonna be sitting on it forever. That really resonated with me, and I thought that's just such a good thing to keep in mind, is you're not in the business of storage, you're in the business of reselling, so sell it. You may not get as much out of something as you originally thought. That's one thing I think is a huge misconception in this business, especially starting out, and I definitely thought this starting out. I thought, oh my god, I found Lululemon, I'm gonna get $70 out of it. No, you're not. Like, people are looking for a good deal, so give it to them. That's all I'm saying. Yes, know the value of your items, obviously. Definitely have realistic expectations of what people are going to be willing to pay for said item. Do your research, look at comps. Don't go entirely by comps, just because you never know, like, if somebody bundled it, or, you know, you don't know the circumstance. Also check, like, if it's something. So say TJ Maxx had their yellow tag sale and you picked it up, and also a lot of other resellers picked it up. See what is not the solds, but like what's listed. So what people are listing that item at, and price competitively. That's my advice. That was long-winded. I'm sorry you didn't ask for all that, but you got it. And I hope I answered it well. If anybody has any questions or wants me to go further into depth, let me know in the comments. I'm always down there, willing and ready to talk to you guys. Alrighty, so that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on the way out. Also, make sure and subscribe to this channel. also, I know I just said also a lot, but I want to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you who have already subscribed. We are currently at 88 subscribers, 12 subscribers away from 100, and honestly I didn't even think I would hit 10 subscribers, and the amount of love that you guys have been giving me in the comments is seriously so overwhelming. I just, like, it makes me so happy, and you guys have no idea how much your love and support means to me. I'm not gonna get too mushy, I might cry. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.